Today I'm joined by estate agency royalty, Peter Knight, who is responsible for the Property Academy, the Best Estate Agency Guide, and also EA Masters. Peter, what are the plans for the Property Academy, EA Masters and Best Estate Agency Guide in 2024 to help estate and letting agents out there in the UK?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Chris. And yeah, we've got really exciting plans for this year. Don't we say that every year? We believe them to be. So three key areas, as you highlighted. Property Academy, first of all. We're actually moving into the new homes area in a big way. We're setting up 3 groups in new homes. One for agents, one for suppliers, and another one actually for house builders, for regional house builders. In addition to that, we've got our future leader groups, which are really going well, and we've got our sort of owner groups, but we've also set up a group in the middle. We're going to call it a key group, and it's for key executives, head of marketing, head of finance, head of HR, head of IT, head of operations, those sorts of people, because there is a gap between the two, and so we're filling that in. So, and we've got some new chairs as well. So Mr. Rollings, Foxton's is chairing a couple of groups.
Exceptional.
Richard Palfreyman, fresh from the sale of his business, is chairing groups. David Smith, who's a former board member at ASDA, is our sort of non-industry chair. So I'm still doing them as well, but that's the big move for us. On the EA Masters front, really excited. In fact, hot off the press, Chris. We haven't announced the date. We're going to announce the date. It's going to be the 5th of November. So fireworks for some, and looking forward to that. We're going to return to Battersea Evolution as our venue. But again, we're going to mix it up a bit, much more interactive this year. We tried that last year. It worked. People really liked it. We had a lot more audience engagement, and the speaker lineup focusing on business was really well received last year, as opposed to perhaps the more inspirational folk from the past. We're going to go more business orientated and business leaderships. And then perhaps the big news of all is Best Estate Agent Guide. And whilst it is the only assessment that looks at every single estate agency, every single listing for sales and lettings, we're actually taking it even further. And we're developing it and refining it so that we include Google reviews, Google sentiment, Trustpilot reviews, Facebook reviews. But we're also seeking to find a way to differentiate agents by their sort of markets that they operate in. So for example, at the moment, if you were to look at, let's say, Epsom and search for the best agent, you'd be served up 1, 2 or 3 different agents. What we're looking to do, I'm really hoping we'll be able to pull this off, is if you're searching for an agent to sell or let a 2-bedroom flat, you get served with 1, 2, 3. If you're looking to get an agent that's you've got a 6-bedroom detached house, you'd get probably a different 1, 2 and 3. And that's where we're driving towards, and that's what we're hoping we'll be able to achieve. So we differentiate more and make the search even more valuable for the consumer, which in turn therefore makes it more valuable for the agent. So yeah, a few things like that going on, Chris, and busy as ever.
So really, Property Academy is helping your superstar branch managers, your superstar CMOs, and also the bosses themselves. You've got the State EA Masters, which you're going to have more interactive, which, if you don't mind me saying, is an exceptional presentation and you can learn so much on the day. And I'm glad you're going more to the business side, because I've heard that as well. We can all get we can all watch videos on YouTube to be inspired, but it's actual nitty gritty. How do I get more properties on the market?
Yep.
Peter, those 3 elements are absolutely fantastic. No one can really hold a candle to you with all that. You are quite an insightful person when it comes to the property market. What challenges do you think and opportunities estate agents have going forward in 2024?
So I think, Chris, for me, 2024 is the first time in perhaps 4 or 5 years where I think agents can actually start to think longer term. I think it's been highly reactive. All the changes we've been through, which we know, the Brexits, the COVIDs, etc., etc. But now I genuinely think even though we've got a general election this year, I genuinely believe that actually we can start to plan 3 or more years ahead and start to actually look at our business in terms of that future, what it's going to look like, as opposed to merely adapting and reacting to the changes, which were essential, by the way. But now I think equally, if you like, important is for agents to start thinking about at least 3 years out from now. And whilst there's a lot of talk about AI and a lot of talk about technology, you ignore it at your peril. And this stuff has a habit of catching people out if they're not careful. And what we're looking at is really good applications of this technology to improve the customer experience, which in turn should improve agents' performance. But number one of all things, I think at the moment, is agents have got to start making money again, because too many of them are just not profitable. They're not making enough money. And what we're doing with our members is saying to them, they need to completely rejig how they do their business planning. So we start with the top line. Let's get really focused as to what that can be. How much revenue can you generate? But then the second thing we say is, well, how much profit do you want? And then the third, and what do you as an owner want to draw out of the business? And then and only then do we look at what's left and say, right, that's what's available to resource and deliver that top line. As opposed to what agents have historically done, which is they've said, well, what's the top line? Then how much is it going to cost us? And then they take whatever little bit is left at the end. No, that can't continue. They're just not making enough money for it to be sustainable. So we're working with our members to really help them to improve not only their business operations, but fundamentally why they do it in the first place, which is to make some a decent income from it and decent value for their business down the road.
I know I've said you've got the three elements, and it goes without saying that the conference is an amazing conference and the Best Estate Agency Guide is a great way of measuring. But I just want to say to camera now, the agents involved with the Property Academy really are not the cream, but they are the cream of the cream. Exceptional leaders that I've got no hesitation of when interviewing them on the sofa. They are truly exceptional, some massive names. So if you are an estate agent or you have colleagues that you are your future leaders, then Peter doesn't know I was going to say this, really do check them out because the quality is truly exceptional. And I think it's important that only by collaborating with like-minded bosses, fellow bosses and like-minded negs or branch managers with great guidance and support will you get better. And that's why I wanted to say thank you for what you do with the Property Academy. Thank you.
Well, you're very kind, Chris, as always. I really appreciate it. And likewise, genuinely, you didn't know I was going to say this either. A lot of people don't realise just what you do for this industry, and we do, and we thank you for it.
Thank you very much.
I mean that. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.